The new investigation, new Charlie Parker investigation, begins with the disappearance of a girl in a small town in northern Maine, and the effect this has on the community, not just the town, but the state itself. Other books have been very violent. The Parker books have been very violent and have been very supernatural. And each book I write tends to be a reaction to the book that went before it. And this one, I wanted to have very little violence in it and very little of the supernatural. If you think of this new book, there's a lot of description. You mentioned the birds that are there at the start. There is a long period of just describing the landscape. I'm very conscious of creating a tangible geographical world that the reader can inhabit. Because if I can make them believe in this world, I can make them believe in all the things that happen in it. So I don't tend to write very dialogue-driven books. I tend to write books that actually probably err slightly too much on the side of description. There is a little bit of me, there's a little bit of me in all of the characters. I tend to give characters in the books pieces of music that I like to listen to. They tend to drink wines that I like. They tend to comment on writers that I like. Equally though, I've given every sin I've committed to somebody in a book. You mentioned James Lee Burke earlier. And I interviewed James Lee Burke when my first book came out. And Burke said that he was the good people in his books. He wasn't the bad people. They were just caricatures. And I didn't believe him because the only way these characters have an element of truth to them is if you can put something of yourself in them. And we've all done bad things, and we've all thought bad things. And so for some of these characters, I just have to expand the bad stuff. But I give people the good stuff too. Tous les écrivains et tous les détectives que j'aime beaucoup, Harry Bosch dans Michael Connolly, Dave Robichaud dans le livre de John Burke, Lou Archer dans les romans de Ross MacDonald. Ils tous cherchent la rédemption. They have all done bad things, and they are all trying to make up for their sins. And Parker is a man seeking redemption. He wants redemption. That's a very Catholic concept, the idea that you can be redeemed. And how do you redeem yourself? You redeem yourself by acting on behalf of others. It's unselfish. You have to give to other people to be redeemed. There is none of this predestination nonsense that the weird Protestants believe in. You know, you can change. And what we have is the hope of redemption. Hope is the important thing in these books. Otherwise, they would be very dark indeed. Throughout it, Parker has a kind of hope. And it's getting harder and harder for him to hold on to it, but it's still there.